render me a recompense?
Hold that and get Deuteronomy 31.
Deuteronomy 31.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 31:27. Deuteronomy 31:27. I'm going to show you that real quick. I have to find it first. Read
Book
that.
of Deuteronomy chapter 31 and
then
verse
you gonna go back to
27.
Joel 3.
For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against the Lord.
You see that? That's the reason why. This is Moses speaking. He said, I have known your rebellion and your stiff neck.
Right.
That's the reason why, even though the truth is out, our people are not grabbing to the truth. You see what I'm saying? Plus the Most High closing their eyes. We read that in Isaiah 29.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So go back to Joel 31. Because what we read about Joel 31 is because of how they went into Jerusalem and they took everything. They took everything because Israel is our homeland. We went through that. You understand what I'm saying? So even if you was to take the Deuteronomy 32 and mesh it on into what we get ready to read, that's the reason why we're not in the land now. Because we're rebellious and we stiff. Right. You understand what I'm saying? We don't.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Those are two African nations. Well, countries. Right. In Africa. Read.
And all the coast of Palestine.
And all the coast of Palestine. That's the Arabs. All right. Read.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if
will you be able to apologize to me? Read.
And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Why would he return the recompense upon your own head? Why would you try to apologize for something? That means that you're guilty. You know what it is that you're doing wrong. Read.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
Is that you have taken my silver and my gold.
And have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
You see that? Read on.
The children also of Judah.
You see that?
And the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Have ye what?
Have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Children of Judah, talking about Jewish people?
No. You're talking about the true Jews. The true, not the Jewish people. Because those are not the people. The people that's in Jerusalem now, right? They're not the true people. The ones that's in Israel. You the true Jews. That's what we've been going over for the past 30, 40 minutes.
You're saying the Jews and the Israelites are the same?
Yes. The Jew is just an abbreviation of Judah.
Right.
You got the flyer? What a flyer?
I got it.
Let me see the flyer real quick. See that? The 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
Israel is comprised of 12 tribes.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
We come from the tribe of Judah.
Okay.
Right here. All right? So Judah, the abbreviation of Judah is Jew.
Well, me, okay.
Where you at?
I guess I'm too, man. I'm Puerto Rican as well.
You Puerto Rican? What's your father?
I'm Puerto Rico.
Your father from Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Oh, you from the tribe of Ephraim.
That's right.
No wonder you're so hard to deal with. No, it's just a Northern Kingdom thing, brother. It's a Northern Kingdom thing. We understand. Northern Kingdom is hard. Northern Kingdom is a hard other half of Israel to get them to come into the truth. Okay, read.
That ye might remove them far from
Start
their
up a little
border.
bit so you get the country.
Verse 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
You sold unto the Grecians, read.
That ye might remove them far from their border.
To remove them far from their borders. How would they be able to accomplish that? To remove them far from their borders. If we was in Jerusalem and then we ran out of Jerusalem into Africa, which you agree is not our homeland, right? According to what we read in Galatians 4, right? We ran into Africa. How the hell did we get here?
Right,
Slavery, right? So, what did we swim across the ocean?
No,
We got here on a boat. Bro, today you're going to know that you're going to have to read this book. You're going to have to read this book. You cannot doubt this book. This book is full of black prophecy.
That's right.
Black prophecy. That's what it's full of. You understand? Read.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
So it said the Lord going to bring you into Egypt again with ships. Why? Why did he bring them into Egypt again with ships?
Take back what the land?
Huh?
No. I guess take back to be where we belong?
No. If we were taken into slavery,
Right.
on slave ships, we weren't going back to our homeland. We weren't going back there. Bye-bye.
No, yeah.
It's
we're leaving.
done. Right? So we leave and going where? With the enemy.
Yeah.
Right? To their lands. Correct?
Correct.
Why?
We were slaves. We didn't have a choice.
Think so? We did have a choice.
We had a
We
choice.
messed that choice up.
We had a choice.
Right, but what was the choice?
We stood our ground.
Give me that. Choose one. Choose there. Say it again.
Stayed.
Say it again.
Should have never left.
We should have stayed in Israel. We should have never left, right?
Should never been ran out. Whatever happened.
Right. So we got in that position because of what? Because we obviously we did something.
We doubted.
Doubted. And that's what you're guilty of, correct?
Absolutely.
Of doubting.
I know
That's what exactly. That's what our people were doing then. We were doubting God. Okay.
I'm not doubting God.
You was doubting. I know
I'm doubting what I don't know. I guess.
That's good.
Because I don't know.
Right. But
I wanna
you
know.
can't say you don't know anymore because we giving you a lot. We giving you a lot. You got what I'm going?
I got one right here in Deuteronomy 30.
Give me that.
I'm not big
Deuteronomy
question now.
chapter 30 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Says, see, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil.
See, the Most High set between us life and good, death and evil. You understand what I'm saying? We had the choice of keeping God's commandments and living, or not keeping God's commandment and dying. You know what I'm saying? Go to Joshua 24. You know what I want? Joshua 24. Okay, because Moses said at the, before, choose you this day. You got to choose you this day. What you want to do? Whether you want to serve God or you want to not serve God. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be your choice. That's what I said. They had a choice, brother. They had a choice whether to choose God or choose whatever they wanted to do. Either keep the commandments and live or die, not keep them and die. Read what you got.
Joshua chapter 24 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord,
So say if you seem evil unto you to serve God, read.
choose you this day whom you will serve.
You're going to choose you this day who you're going to serve. You're going to have to choose. That's the reason why we got into the position that we're in.
Even after Moses left his people, right, like, they messed up even more.
They did.
And,
They did.
And then, like, half of them were gone.
They did. And it constantly kept going and kept going. It was a cycle.
Right.
It was a cycle. But there was some that kept the commandments.
That's right.
Okay? And that's what we're doing.
So how are there 12 tribes?
Say that again?
How are there 12 tribes?
Because the Most High God divided.
So,
He had two.
Jesus?
See, he had 12 sons. 12 sons that was broken up.
But how did the Native Americans, the whole, this side of the continent, how did they learn the Bible?
How did who learn about it?
This side of the continent. Before
America?
Before slavery. When
Okay.
it was the Native Americans. I don't know
He
what
knows
else to
some
call
history.
it.
Say
He knows,
again?
he knows some history.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
know
yeah.
that
He-
according to the history, the Native Americans kept the customs of the Bible
Right.
that you find, right? They kept the Feast of Pentecost.
Right.
They kept the Passover type celebration. He knows, so you know a little bit of history. He asking
13.
how does that happen?
Yeah,
Yes, second
13.
Esdras. Yeah.
About to show you. Okay? About to show you about the northern kingdom from where you're from. Where your spirit is coming from. Right? Read.
Second Esdras chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led
Start up
away
again.
captive.
Start up again.
Verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners.
They was carried away prisoners. You hear this lingo changing again. Captivity, bondage.
So this is before our own slavery.
Right.
Out of
Right.
their own
Because
land.
you gotta understand, the northern kingdom went out first.
Right.
They would, Most High kicked them out first. And then the scripture says his treacherous sister, Judah, followed after him. Meaning that,
That's what I've been looking for. I'm still confused, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm trying to fully understand.
what's that?
Yeah, how before slavery.
how the Native Americans got here. That's
Right. That's what we're reading.
And then not only did they get here, but how did they have this knowledge, this information?
We're going to get to it. Read what you got.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners.
So that's the 10 tribes. Where that paper at? Okay. After this here, Levi. You got all the rest of these tribes here. Okay. Those are the other 10 tribes that he's talking about. Okay. Read on.
That were carried away prisoner out of their own land.
They were carried prisoners out of their own land.
In the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive.
Read.
And he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land.
It says carried them over the waters. And so they came into another land. Read.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
They took this counsel amongst themselves. They gathered themselves together and said, look, this is what we're going to do. Read.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathens. They're going to leave the other nations because they had permission to do so. Read.
And go forth into a further country.
And go forth into a further country. Read.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. That's where the Native Americans went to, right? Read.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
You see that? That's how they got this knowledge. Here. Before we came over here. Before Christopher Columbus and them came over here. They already had it. They had it from back then. They knew what it was. You understand? Like I said, we got sent into captivity because we kept breaking God's laws. So when they came to this point, they were like, you know what? They bethought themselves. Okay? They bethought themselves and said, you know what? When we get to this land, we're going to keep our laws. We're going to keep the commandments, everything that we were supposed to have kept in our own lands. We're going to keep it in this land. Read.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
So the Most High didn't allow waves and storms to come to knock their course off. They needed to go directly to this particular land. Read. Because the Most High was happy with them at the moment. Why? Because they bethought themselves and said, you know what? I'm going to hold that and give me that in 1 Kings about bethinking yourself. 1 Kings 8.
Because they saw what was going wrong and
they knew they were breaking God's laws, right?
They wanted to correct. They wanted to do over.
Right, exactly. They were repenting, in other words.
Right.
That's what they were doing. They were repenting. Read, what's this? This is 1 Kings 8. Read.
46 and 47?
Yeah.
47.
Both of them.
1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 46. If they sin against thee.
Meaning that the children of Israel, if they sin against thee, read.
For there is no man that sinneth not.
There's no man in the nation of Israel that sinneth not, because all were breaking God's commandments. Okay? Not all of them, though. There's some that's keeping them. But majority of them were. Read.
And thou be angry with them.
So the Most High God was angry with them at the time of breaking his commandments. Read.
And deliver them to the enemy.
And deliver them to the enemy. That's what he was talking about. The King Hoseas. All right. The Syrian captivity. Read.
So that they carried them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
That's the far and near. And that goes all the way up to the time of the transatlantic slave trade, because the far and near, their transportation was what? A boat. A ship. Correct? Read.
Yet, if they shall bethink themselves.
It says, yet, if they shall bethink themselves. Hold on a second. I'm not of the land in which I came here captive. I'm an Israelite. From what tribe? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, Dominican. Hold on a second. Am I really Dominican? No, Simeon. From the tribe of Simeon. You are from the tribe of Ephraim. You're not Puerto Rican. You're from the tribe of Ephraim. That's bethinking yourself. Read.
In the land whither they were carried captive.
So this is the land in which you were carried captive. A lot of your people are over in Puerto Rico. The port of riches. Okay? How do they get there? Boats. Right? Read.
And repent.
And repent. Read.
And make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives.
Right. The repenting is keeping God's laws. It's saying, you know what? I know what I did wrong. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to keep God's laws. You understand that? So go back to where we was at. Start over. Start reading.
We're at the top?
No, don't start there.
Okay.
Tell me where. Right.
Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go.
Start up a little bit.
Enter into the Euphrates.
Right.
Verse 43, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Read.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half.
Okay, good. Bring it back up to where we was talking about when they left their own land. Left their own.
They took the counsel.
Right.
Verse 41.
It's cold out here. Got my
But
brain
they
freezing.
took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
You see that? That's the bethinking part that we was just reading. You understand what I'm saying? They bethought themselves. So the Most High was excited at the fact that they got it.
Right.
You understand? They got it. After all these years. Finally. Somewhat. But even now, look at us. You see what I'm saying? But at the moment, the Most High was excited about it. Alright? Read.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages
So
of
they
the
got
river.
in the boats. Read.
For the Most High then showed signs for them.
See? The Most High showed signs for them. But he was okay with them at the time. Read.
And held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go.
So he ain't allowed no storms, no waves, no let's call it whales or anything, turbulence, nothing, turbulence. The water, turbulence in the water. Okay, he ain't allowed none of that to come upon them. Okay, because he was pleased with them at the time. Read.
Namely of a year and a half.
So it took like a year and a half for them to go from where they were to over here to the Americas. And you can actually think about it. That's logically you can think of that. A year and a half. Read.
And the same region is called Arsaris.
So this place, before it was called America, it was called the land of Arsaris. You understand what I'm saying? Arsaris. Give me that in Psalms where they changed the names, called the name lands by their names. Okay, because when Christopher Columbus came over here, remember we was talking about you can't call yourself African, right? And that's two Europeans, right? Because that's one of the things that the Europeans do. You know what I'm saying? When they go, it's called divide and conquer, right? They'll go and divide the land up, break it up, and conquer it, correct? So wherever they conquer, they call them their own lands, okay? Good, okay, all praises, officer. All praises. Read that real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11.
Watch this.
Their inward thought is
So this is the inward thought of the enemies, especially Esau. You know who Esau is now, right? We went over all that, right? Read.
that their houses shall continue forever.
That their houses shall continue forever. That's what Esau always want to do. That's why they do their medicines and all that stuff like that, trying to live long. You know what I'm saying? What's that movie? Get Out. You seen the movie Get Out, right? You ever seen it? Okay, good. You need to watch it. You need to watch that movie. But their inward thoughts that they
brainwash the black dude and the white
right. But
shit.
it goes deeper than that. But you gotta watch that.
Okay.
But their inward thoughts that their houses will remain forever. Okay, so they want to eat up real estate. That's what they wanted to do. Eat up real estate. So every place they went, they conquered it, they took it, they stole it. What did they do to America?
Same thing.
They stole it, right? They did the same thing to our homeland in Jerusalem. They stole it. Okay, they eating up real estate. Read.
Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
They call their lands after their own names. Right? So that's what, like, for instance, went over African American, right? Yeah, America. You see what I'm saying? After a white man. You see that? So now, read Arsaris.
This is Arsaris from
Now
the Jewish Encyclopedia.
Right. Now, you remember Arsaris. We just got finished reading that, the second Esdras, right?
Right.
That this land was called Arsaris before it was America.
Correct.
Read.
The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
You see that? Which the 10 tribes of Israel would dwell. Read.
Observing the laws of Moses.
They was doing what?
Observing the laws of Moses.
You see that? Because that's the laws that they were supposed to keep from the beginning. Right?
They did.
Right. Remember we was going over that? Deuteronomy 28:15?
Right.
Read.
Until the time of restoration. According to 4th Esdras, 13 and 45, Columbus identified America with this land.
You see that? Who?
Columbus identified America with this land.
Who's Columbus?
European dude.
Exactly. He identified this land with Ushers. So how did he find it? He had to read this book. You understand? To know where we were located. Okay? We go over here, we get some slaves. We go over and take this land. You understand what I'm saying? They always was searching for us. They always hunted for us. You understand what I'm saying?
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this and join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.